Which is faster, boar or bullet? We find out on a hunt in Portugal.
Got him!
Everything you always wanted to know about thermal but were afraid to ask. It's our ultimate guide. And we're back on the front line with gun licensing. When the police take your guns, they know it's going to cost you tens of thousands to fight them in the courts. We meet one shooter who's going through it.
This has been an absolute cock-up of the first order.
We have a rifle slip from Ian Hodge Fieldsports priced at £99 to give away. We have news. We have hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. If driven wild boar is on your hunting bucket list, there's stuff you need to know. Practical stuff, because the chances are it won't be how it looks in the movies. This is especially true here in Portugal with Sergio and his colleague Tiago. They organise driven hunts on open farmland, not state forests. This is off-road hunting, not track. More Paris-Dakar than Santapod.
About right for fallow, isn't it, David?
It's a return visit for Paul, so he knows what to expect. However, it's all new for Sam, his gamekeeper, and Sam's friends, Vince and Jim. All are experienced rifle shots, but this is a whole new boar game.
Last time we were here, then we were shut down about 2 weeks later, weren't we? But look at that. Beautiful sunshine. I've got some sunscreen in the bag, so we'll be alright.
And hopefully everybody gonna be smiling with a lot of boar on the ground.
There's some newbies here, isn't there?
Yeah, some first timer on the boar, which will be quite interesting. Later on, hopefully, if they get initiated. I said that it's the end of the season, so they're quite skittish, Serge was saying, so I think we have to be on our toes. No noise, David, when we get to the stand. Creep in. Got the mag full ready, so click it in. And then we'll hopefully be in some action.
With the stands picked, we're off to our allocated spot on this pasture and cork tree plantation. Nothing is standard here. Each shooting location is unique, so the first thing to do is assess and make it your own. By the time David has set up his GoPro, Paul has feng shuied the place.
So they drop you off, and obviously you've got the safety areas to look at. They say they might come from this day, that way, whatever. And then you get into a nice spot, nice bit of something to put your back against, so just break your shadow, break your silhouette up a little bit. And then to make a bit of a flat, it's like wallow for David. Just somewhere flat, so you've got a nice footing. So same as when you're doing the game shooting, it's nice footing. And we're going to be here for a while, so I've got a couple of big stones. Got the rifle on some sticks, so I can just, because obviously there'll be times when there's peaks and troughs in the drive, so obviously when the dogs start up straight away, we'll be ready. And then you have the dull. If you put it against a tree, probably against a tree, it's that distance to get that barrel round, to get the shot, so if it's there, all we've got to do is pick it up. And I can have a little snooze while you're keeping watch, David.
A pig could come from anywhere, at a trot or full pelt with a dog on its tail, at range or up close. So for this trip, Paul has chosen to bring his familiar fast cycling Sacco S20 in 6.5 Creedmoor with aftermarket camo stock. It's not long before we get our first sight of boar. It's just a teaser with no shot. However, the farm is starting to sound busy. Then there's a chance.
Yeah. Where are they going?
I don't know.
It.
You give a knock, man. There you go.
Got it. I got it. Can I get you a hug?
You did it.
God, man. The highs and lows of this game.
I mean, it fell over just for the amount of lead in it.
You keep going until they drop, David, in case they charge. My God, I was perfect on that. I swung through it. I mean, I'm using the muzzle brake, I've just taken it off. The first one just blew my ears out, my bloody thing.
Yeah, well, the hearing defender's on the floor, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. And the second shot, I lined up on him perfect, absolutely on the money. And because I haven't got a silencer on, you're getting a big muzzle flip, and because you can't see the reaction of the pig. I got him! Oh man, this is so good.
You're running out of space fast though.
I was going for it, yeah. First I made sure on. The second one was, I thought, no problem. The third one, I was like, really, really like, I thought I was going against Ollie Williams on the old game. And I was like making sure it was on. And then, yeah, the last one obviously was just before he went over the ridge. But he's on the deck, I don't care. There he is. Whew. How cool is that? 1, 2. 1, 2. Three.
Any more?
I don't know.
Paul has his pig, but it wasn't textbook, or rather, it wasn't as cleanly executed as Paul would have liked. So another tip is to know your gear and practice with it. Making changes at the last minute could trip you up.
Right, so we often talk about being prepared. So you're leaving nothing else to chance. So on this one, you decided to come on this trip with a muzzle brake, which you'd never used before.
Yes. I've used them before, like years ago. I've used them on the big calipers, like the 338s and stuff like that, but I thought it looked sexy, to be honest with you. I
So
thought
what happened when you actually pulled the trigger then?
it blew my ears out the side of my head, and to be honest with you, it was sheer pain. I didn't have my earmuffs in, which is totally my fault. I'm totally stupid, especially with my ears from all the damage I've done in the past anyway. But obviously it pushes out the noise straight out sideways, but it comes back at you as well. And it was absolutely horrible, to be honest with you. So I took it straight off.
But you lost sight picture, which is the thing, because you
Yeah.
turned around after those shots
Yeah,
and you weren't sure whether that pig was down, were you?
exactly. You're so used to shooting a moderator on, so you know you don't get the barrel whip, you don't get that big recoil, and you can see the shot reaction. Obviously, this is meant to reduce muzzle flip, which it sort of does, but it obviously pushed the noise back to me, and I didn't have ear protection on, and also the smoke and the gases and stuff all released straight outwards, so I couldn't see a clear picture of the pig. So very sexy, but not so practical at this job.
As we head back to the truck, we can see the damage being done to this farm.
Look at here, like everywhere. And this obviously, I've got these cork trees. Obviously there's a lot of cattle in here, obviously they moved out the cattle to do this job. But yeah, this, you know, they ain't gonna have no grass left if they don't control them and bring down the numbers to a sensible number.
Sergio tells us that the pandemic restrictions have allowed the wild boar population to flourish.
The hunting stopped in Portugal for the duration of the pandemic, so of course boar took a big leap. I noticed a big change, for example, last year on the red stags through the season, in the rut. Everybody had a shot at boar. It was boar through the day. As we were looking for the red deer, we could see sounders of boar, so we could see a big increase on boar, yeah.
Back at the lodge, the boar are laid out, including a mongoose, a non-native pest species shot by Pedro. His twin daughters have travelled to join him on the hunt. Katia is a student and Beatrice is a security officer.
O que é que vos traz aqui à montaria?
Principalmente por causa de uma das primeiras coisas é o convívio, depois é a caça, mesmo que a gente não apanhe nada é sempre bom a caça, porque depois vem o convívio outra vez.
Mas o gosto da caça vem de quem? Vem de família?
Do lado do meu pai.
Teu pai?
Sim, do lado do meu
É
pai.
grande caçador?
É, sim senhor.
Hoje teve sorte?
Teve sim senhora.
O que é que ele matou hoje?
Matou um bebê, um javali bebê, um médio e um javali normal.
3?
3.
So do you have a hunting license?
Tenho sim senhora.
Desculpa. Tu tens a carta de caçador?
Tenho sim senhora.
Há quanto tempo é que tens a carta de caçador?
Já vai fazer 4 anos.
4 anos. E já te foste bem sucedida a apertar o gatilho?
Não, ainda não. Ainda não.
Day 2 and it's different terrain and different temperature. So far, Paul is the only one off the mark from his group. He senses they may be being too cautious, too British even, when they need to grab the half chances.
They loved it, even though none of them struck. They had opportunities, and it's the first time you ever go. It's such a massive experience, the hype, and then you're on that, like I said yesterday myself, you're on that roller coaster of emotions. They come in, is it mine? Then you miss your opportunity. Is that the only opportunity you're going to get all day? And then when you get your opportunity and you miss, you're like rock bottom, and then you might get another chance and get one. So yeah, hopefully they will have a strike one today. But you've got to be alert. You've got to be on the stand, ready for action. And then when you get that chance, if it's a big group of boar, don't worry about the 5 or 6 pigs. Just worry about one shot at a time. Concentrate on that shot. Take that shot. When that one's down, then go to the next, and then go to the next. Because it's the classic thing. You get a big group come, and we got to go. And then you blow it all. Come on, we got to go, quick. Let's go to this bit here.
We are dropped off at what must be the highest point of the farm. We have a great view, but first there's work to be done to optimise our chances of success. As the dogs start picking up scents below us, a fox breaks cover. It might have scuppered our chances of a boar in the short term, but Paul has his reasons.
One, I'm a gamekeeper at heart, but the second is the guy's got his ground is heavily into wild French partridges. Obviously foxes are a #1 predator, and the boar obviously are as well. But this actual hunt, I think all the money goes straight back to the partridges, so it's a great sort of like circle of conservation, and back to the same thing what we all do everywhere, isn't it, you know? Yeah, it's good. Big boys.
We soon realised the line of trees below us is the rat run. The boar run through it and have been dropping down to our fellow hunter Ian. But not this one. We don't see it fall, but Paul is happy with the shot.
Bit of a half chance there, Julie.
You've got to take your chances when they come, because that was basically, they're working this ground right the way around. Boar will come up underneath that undulation on the other side of here, coming up in the cover, straight down that line of the thick cover, straight out the next door. Gone down the bottom there, he's getting quite a bit of shooting. So there's a massive one a minute ago, come all the way across that far bank, come through. We see him flat out through the top of the line of that ridge. No chance for a shot. But that one come give me a little window and that big pine there. Took the opportunity. It sounded good, to be fair. And then he came out the bottom here and definitely struck him good down here, but he just went into the bushes and I think he just flipped over backwards. There was a shot over the back afterwards, but don't know. What do you think, David?
I think you got it.
I think I got it. Yeah, I think that was a good strike. That sounded good, but obviously it's behind the cover as soon as I shot. But that was a good.
A little bit.
Adrenaline, isn't it? It's like.
The end of the drive is called, and as we anticipated, Ian has had some very short-range shooting. This is the shot cam footage, from 5 metres to 5 millimetres in a second.
What happened then, Ian? Had a charge, didn't you?
Yeah, it came out of the bushes where I was standing, and it came out so quick, it came straight at me, went through the hedge, and then stood on the top of the bank, and I hit it broadside. It's gone down the side.
Yeah. Perfect.
I know.
Exciting, adrenaline rush.
Whoa! real.
What size is it?
It's a decent size, Kyla.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
well, wicked.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've got it on shot cam. So.
Have you?
But came out and then saw me and came straight at me.
Did he?
I thought, what?
Never experienced that before.
Yeah, I have once before.
Okay.
Not that close.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good.
Memories, hey?
Yes.
Brilliant.
The next thing is to find it. Unfortunately, as the footage shows, the boar is wounded. Ian is sure he got a shot on it, but it's not dropped in the thick cover immediately behind his stand. It takes Bloodhound Childerley to locate it. It's 150 metres from the stand.
I come over the ridge and I thought, if I was a boar and wounded, where would I go? Or dying. He put onto his pig track. And they come off, it's quite funny, they come off the track, and I see a load of stone being pushed and banged around. So I went down to that and I found a tiny bit of blood, and then away, and then they just trap, and he's down in here, headed to water. So, yeah, Kyler. Small Kyler, but he's a good one. Now I'm going to find the one that was shot and went over the ride. Ian shot at it as well, and it should be on this bank here. It's a hell of a thick bank, and then I'll nip back round and pick the fox up. Yeah, scan it all out really. Tracker. Laters.
So the stone surge, that's in order to present it nicely, is it?
Yeah, to keep so you can see the type of teeth they have, but you have to put the stone while they're still warm. If not, it goes as soon as they get cold, the jaw just seizes and you cannot open it. So it's better as soon as we get the pig, just put a stone or something or a stick. Then when it gets cold, you can take the stone out and the mouth will still open. Okay. Tough animals, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
20 minutes of sniffing the air, licking rocks and other deer manager antics, and Paul's found his boar.
I know what you're doing.
I don't know about that.
So pig's retrieved.
Pig's retrieved, which is good.
Unsurprisingly, many shoots want the professional trackers to do the follow-up. But you learn so much more if you get stuck in with the whole theatre of a driven hunt. It really has been a fantastic morning. Our third and final day of hunting is on virgin farmland for Sergio and Tiago. Although we've had Portuguese hunters on every one of the previous hunts, this one is more of a family affair. Paul is still the only one of the South of England posse to have got a boar. The others have seen them, but not made contact. The ground is beautiful in the early spring sunshine. Again, our stand is completely different from anywhere we've been placed before, with a bank right in front of us. Paul goes into Miss Marple mode and looks for clues.
We've got runs coming down the bank, stock fencing behind us, and there's a big wallow with it getting through behind here. Tracks going out across this open ground behind. And it's where to position yourself, back against a tree, that'd be good. But then you can't see them coming down these tracks. So I've put myself right in the middle, right? Not for the faint-hearted, David. Hope you're with me.
It's a long time to retain your concentration, but that is what you need to do. Hours into the drive, and with just seconds before they blow up to mark the end, the unluckiest boar in Portugal meets the luckiest hunter.
Good. Didn't rush, did I? Took my time.
That's the dog would have lied down over there.
Oh man. Good, huh? Good?
Oof. Yeah, we've had, it's been so quiet, and then...
Didn't just... Obviously the guy next to us missed that. It come through here, and we were deadly silent. And it froze. Couldn't see it behind the kit, and then it went, "Who are you boys? Who are the boys?" And we got it right in the front end. That was perfect. For me, that was perfect. I was 100% confident on both those shots. Obviously, first one smacked it. Second one, when the boys finish with it, I'll have a little look at it and see exactly where we hit it, but I know it's a front end.
Right, so we've been looking for the two shots. We found one, but actually chilled leaves.
There's one. There's the other. Oh.
We've got a bit of group in there.
Consistency there. Yeah, two with the 120 grain blades. Good job. did a good job there. Brought him back. So yeah, first shot, dusted him, and the second shot did the job. Perfect.
It's a brilliant end to another magical Portuguese-driven boar hunt. The icing on the cake is that both Vince and Sam have got their first ever wild boar, and Jim has an excuse to come back. We're often asked about the prices for this kind of trip. So, for a 4-day trip with 3 days hunting, including accommodation and transfers, plus other stuff, it starts at £1,850 per hunter. Visit circuitwildharvest.com to find out more, and if you want a smart Sacco S20 to take with you, go to sacco.fi to choose your spec. Thank you, Paul and the posse, and Sergio for organising the trip. Next up, a different kind of boar. It's David on the Fieldsports channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. A British MP has attacked the President of Botswana, all Scottish gamekeepers, and mixed up canned hunting with tinned meat. In an online debate, Westminster MP Sir Roger Gale lashed out at Botswana President Magisi Masisi, calling him a corrupt vandal and saying his actions led to murder for allowing hunting tourism. He went on to say that he would like to see a ban on the export of stag antlers from Scotland, though he agreed that was outside his jurisdiction. And he said he had visited an organisation in Zimbabwe that generates meat from canned hunting. He appeared to mistake shooting trophy animals in small fenced areas for the production of tinned meat such as spam or corned beef. Opposing him, Jens Erik Hoeg from Nordic Safari Club called his arguments prejudice and fantasy.
We all agree that basically all his factual arguments are emotional, they are based on prejudice, they are racist, a few of them actually. His idea of Africans being incompetent and corrupt by definition are scary, and a lot of the stuff he says seems to be free fantasy.
3 people from the online Country Squires magazine who are defending libel charges brought by Chris Packham have hit their first target for donations for their legal bill. The editor of Country Squire magazine, Dominic Whiteman, and contributors Nigel Bean and Paul Reed raised £20,000 with a crowd justice page in 10 days. They are continuing their fundraising as they need £250,000 to pay for lawyers. Antis forced the closure of their previous crowdfunding page. Packham complains that articles in Country Squire allege he misled the public into donating to a wildlife charity to rescue tigers from circuses. Poultry and captive birds are no longer confined to their barracks. The Chief Veterinary Officer is lifting housing measures introduced across the UK to control the spread of bird flu. The rules will be relaxed in areas that aren't in a protection zone. More than 100 cases of bird flu have been confirmed in the UK since October, its largest ever outbreak. This has led to disruption in the supply of eggs and chicks from France, and many shoots are struggling to find birds for the coming season. Following protests last week, gamekeepers are ramping up their campaign against Cairngorms National Park. The Scottish Gamekeepers Association is backing the Grampian Moorland Group and other country groups, which ran an online day of action demonstrating against the Cairngorms Partnership Plan. The plan includes major changes to the management of deer and game birds in the park. The SGA says it will severely impact gamekeepers' jobs and undermine the local economy. The association says members feel their contributions to deer management is undervalued.
To ignore the positive benefits of traditional farming practice and sporting estates in favour of wide-scale change will threaten Scottish targets which aim to halt biodiversity loss by 2030, threaten the local economy and health and well-being in local communities.
Cornish fishermen are calling for a cull of seals. They claim the rats of the sea eat 53 fish for everyone caught by them.
The Cornish Mackerel Fishermen Group claims there is a real problem with the seal population in the UK as they have no predators. Antis have attacked the call for the cull, saying seals attract tourists. Some studies don't support the fishermen's claims. A European Parliament report says the impact on marine stocks by seals predating on fish is insignificant. An Irish study says seals mostly eat smaller fish. Conservationists say that trophy hunters are the saviour of the snow leopard in Tajikistan. Income from shooters provides vital funds for conservation efforts, including the big cat. The mountainous country that borders China and Afghanistan is home to around 5% of snow leopards that live in the high mountains of Asia. Scientists say the population of the elusive animal is increasing. It's estimated that there are up to 450 cats. 99% of funding for conservation comes from foreign trophy hunting. The government has quotas for many animals, including markhor, ibex and wild boar. California's Fish and Wildlife Commission has rejected a call by Antis to ban black bear hunting. The Commission voted unanimously to reject a petition by the Humane Society of the United States. Science was the reason cited for the decision. Meanwhile, in Arkansas, the Black Bear Collaring Project is collecting information on the animals to help create a zone where they can be sustainably managed. Blood Origins is raising money for the project. It has set a target of $70,000.
That money is going to collars, that money is going to the maintenance, that money is going to biologists, that money is going to aerial surveys so that we can understand fecundity, mortality, range, all of the information that the Commission needs to show how sustainable a black bear hunt is.
Kent Police say that hare poaching has fallen by 37%. They attribute the reduction to a new borderless scheme, which sees 6 police forces cooperate across county lines. The Crown Prosecution Service supports the arrangement between Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire, Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex and Kent. It has helped officers seize dogs and share information on people suspected of hare poaching. There were 329 reports of hare poaching between September 2021 and March 2022, which is down from 529 the previous year. A border terrier has escaped after being trapped in a badger set for 12 days. Frida disappeared down the hole in Lickey Hills Country Park near Birmingham. Her owner, Victoria Hogan, camped out in the park for 8 days hoping to find her. Students found the dog collapsed on a nearby road. She was given emergency treatment at the vet's where her owner works and is now doing well. The Cowdrey Gundog Challenge is attracting teams from all over Europe. 11 teams will take part in 6 tests at the event on the 30th of April 2022, which is raising money for the mental charity Mind. Dogs and their owners will come from all over the UK, Belgium and Switzerland to compete at the Cowdrey Estate in West Sussex. The retriever teams will have 5 dogs in them. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust, its chief executive is travelling across the UK, like a gamekeeper. Helen Benson set off from the Castle of May in Scotland. She is using every kind of transport that gamekeepers do, including Garran ponies and UTVs. 2022 is designated the Year of the Gamekeeper. Sponsorship money from Helen's trek will go to fund the work of the Welfare Trust that helps gamekeepers. She'll be sharing the stories of gamekeepers she meets along her journey to Land's End on social media. Her trip is called Helen's Way. If you want to support her, the links are in the description below. And finally, a shoplifting Cornish seagull has been caught in the act. The herring gull is a regular at the Holland and Barrett shop in Penzance. Local photographer John Stedman snapped the gull with an energy bar as he was making his escape. Staff say the bird comes in every day for snacks and has always evaded capture. His favourite food is chocolate caramel bars. The free ride may soon be at an end for the seagull as the store is increasing security to stop him. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, our big garden pest watch competition is underway, and we've had this from the Peak District Moorland Group, showing a fox stealing eggs from a lapwing nest. More like that, please. Get your trail cam out near nests and you could win a Browning trail cam priced at more than £100. All you have to do is snap video footage or a still photo of pests or vermin stealing eggs and nestlings. Send it to us and the best picture or video will win the prize. There is a serious purpose too. The footage will help show the public why we need to control pest species. Now next we have come up with a series of films that we hope answers all of your questions about thermal spotters and scopes. The shooting world is not renowned for its high-tech hardware, but that's all changed with night vision and thermal. Now it's all software, new terminology and brands making waves in the market.
It's questions that we're always asked about thermal imaging, so in terms of being able to cover that, I think that will be great for customers.
So to find light in the darkness, cut through the white noise to the white hot, we've teamed up with Scott Country International for some independent advice covering the burning issues.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it. Some of it's quite techy and hard to get your head round, but yeah, I think we've done all right.
In a multi-film, multi-brand guide, we quiz the guys on setup.
And you can check for firmware update.
Tech spec.
The lower the number, the better quality of the image.
And of course, budget.
Thermal imaging used to be £2,000 and upwards, but now you can get really good tech and really good performance for £1,000 or less.
To find the answers to your thermal and night vision questions, click on the link in the description below. Now, how would you like an elite tactical 50-inch sniper drag bag? It's a rifle slip with benefits, kindly donated by Ian Hodge Fieldsports, link in the description below. We've got one to give away priced at £99. If you want to know how to win it, the easiest way is to sign up for the Fieldsports Nation, who get to watch Fieldsports Extra every week, link in the description below. Joining the Fieldsports Nation costs the same as a cup of tea or coffee a week, and it supports our work, making films that help our sport. In this next piece, news correspondent Deborah Hadfield meets a shooter who is being forced to abandon his appeal to get his shotgun licence back because of the huge cost.
So under section 46 of the Firearm Act, we are able to come into the property to recover those firearms if they believe you pose a danger.
This is one of 2 guns that Cole Sawyer was forced to surrender to armed police that came to his door on a Sunday afternoon last August. The officers didn't have the correct paperwork or a warrant, but they still took his shotguns.
Carl, who lives in Balderton near Newark, trains gun dogs. These are 2 he's working with for a friend. His guns are essential for his work. Now he has to rely on other shooters to bring their guns to training sessions. When the officers came to his door, he tried to hold on to his shotguns.
Yeah, and we said it wouldn't look favourably if you wouldn't voluntarily surrender them on the basis of what we've discussed about obviously the Home Office. I've just given you.
By the fact that you've refused us to enter, we've had to go down the revocation road. That's
so you've asked for a revocation?
No,
we haven't.
This has been put back, as I've said, when you've refused to voluntarily hand them over. This has gone back to our chief inspector in the control room, who's then spoke to firearms. It'll be certificate, shotguns.
I was shocked. I didn't know anything about why. There's obviously no previous warning. I was just shocked. I was in shock. Without the proper paperwork that those 2 officers should have presented to me, I was cautious about handing over 2 lethal weapons. And I think I'm quite right to do so. But because I didn't hand it over, because they didn't have any proper paperwork, they've revoked my licence. If they'd have explained it properly in the first place, we wouldn't have gone through all this. The licence wouldn't have been revoked in the first place, there and then. And that is the fault of the police, not my fault. I showed caution as a licence holder, as a responsible licence holder.
Not a what?
I sent you a firearms, not a shotgun one, but I think it's exactly the same, it's just different.
Yeah.
The male officer also looked at the tablet of the female officer, and he spotted it was a revocation for a firearm certificate, to which I don't hold, never held. And basically from that I complied, and I said to them, right, I'll go and get my guns. I told them, I opened the front door and I said, you stay there and I'll go and get them. I went upstairs to get the guns, and when I came back in, the officer had stepped inside.
The officers told Carl that previous physical health issues were the reason they were taking the guns. They issued a revocation by email after he refused to hand over his guns on an earlier visit.
I'd not done anything. I couldn't think what had caused this visit, apart from the fact that we knew, as the shooting fraternity knows, that the police overreact when the tragedy happened in Plymouth, when things like this happen, that the police overreact. They only seem to do it to shoot us.
Carl made an appeal to get his shotgun licence back. Former Detective Constable Ian Angus, who shoots game birds and clays, has been helping him in his battle with the police.
In my personal ex-professional position as a police officer, this has been an absolute cock-up of the first order, and nobody in Nottinghamshire Police seems to want to have anything to do with it. When I first got the phone call from him on that Sunday afternoon, my exact words were to him, don't open the door. If they haven't got a warrant, you don't let them through the door. Unfortunately, the solicitor he spoke to advised him otherwise, and once the Nottinghamshire Police had seized his weapons, that was the matter over and done with. They had control of the situation, and they then started treating him absolutely appallingly, as they did myself when I tried to arrange for the collection of the guns.
Carl's guns that the police took were worth around £6,000.
He persuaded the police to release them to a registered firearms dealer. He's been appealing to get his licence and his guns back.
Everything is biased against the shooter, against the shooting fraternity. The police are always against us. And if we've got just cause to challenge them in court, no matter what we do, whether they're right or wrong, we never get paid out on our expenses.
Carl has been forced to sell this gun to a friend to cover his legal bills. He's now dropping his appeal because he cannot afford the tens of thousands of pounds it will cost to go to Crown Court.
Carl needs his certificate back to continue working with gun dogs without needing someone else to bring a gun to the training session.
I'm frustrated, very frustrated. It wants me to want to give up on what I've started and what I know I'm good at. But I needed that gun as a tool. I wanted to be independent. And when I spoke to the firearms licensing manager previously, the predecessor to this firearms licensing manager, she accepted that. She went through it with my solicitor. And she went through it and she said, yes, okay, I'll give you a certificate for 5 years and with a 1-year review. But, and she warned me, that if there was any problems, my licence would be revoked. There have been no problems whatsoever. But she'd given me a chance. I am now independent, or was independent. Now I'm not.
I'm disgusted with the system. The whole system is against the shooter as we currently speak. I'm disgusted with a number of the shooting fraternity societies who have rescinded on their the insurance. And the system is so wrong. Somebody needs to take the whole system by the throat and literally shake it up and just say, right, from top to bottom, the Firearms Act needs completely rewriting, and it needs to be done on a fair and proper manner.
In a statement, Inspector Georgie Newton of Nottinghamshire Police said, "We cannot comment on individual cases." The inspector also said Nottinghamshire Police has strict processes for revoking firearm licences.
Quite a world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the top hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. County deer stalking's Peter Jones takes a perfect 321-metre heart shot on a fallow using a Swarovski deer scope laser R8 Ultimate Rifle and 300 Wood mag. The Shooting with Anthony channel is pigeon shooting, spring drilling. It's his first big day out this year. Dave Carey is shooting in one of the most dramatic places he's been to, a partridge day around Elterwater in the Lake District. Ever wanted to ask British Game Assurance difficult questions such as why should I pay for for you. Alex Sayer puts the BGA's Louisa Clutterbuck on the spot. George Digweed followers can see him in action on Bram Shooting's channel. Here covering George and Charles Bardou shooting the first day of the Euro Shooting Cash Championships 2022. Thanks Pete from Waffenland TV for sending me this video, as he says not about hunting roebucks. He has to keep the farmers happy, so he's shooting nutria or koipu, which escaped from fur farms in Croatia in the 1990s and are spreading rapidly. New Zealand is well known for its feral animals and birds, and the turkey is one of them. Where turkey hunting in the US is high sport, here it's gnarly pest control. This is from a homesteading channel called Self-Reliance Life. And finally, anyone who enjoys Fieldsports Ireland will love this from the guys at Jack Pike. They get under the skin of Jason Doyle and find out far more than I ever knew. That's it for this week. I've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click like us there on Facebook and on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page, and we'll contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain is at 7 PM UK time, and this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.